Hi guys, this is Bala. One of the things that we expect you to pick up by osmosis, but almost never mention explicitly throughout your time in the university, is the skills for learning itself. I hope the time spent addressing this meta issue of learning skills pays off in reducing time to actually learn more effectively by you all. Well, now let us see what is meant by learning. Learning is the act of acquiring new or modifying or reinforcing existing knowledge, which is what all of you are doing in this university. It can be behaviors, skills, values, or preference, and this may involve synthesizing different types of information. Most of us perform this act by attending lectures. This is what I did when I was a student. We attend lectures every day and then copy the lecturer's notes. Later, a week before the exam, we will start reading them and memorize the lecturer's note so that we can regurgitate back during the exams. Whether you remember or not the content after the exam is another issue. In fact, this is the most common way of learning at the university, although we also learn through practicals, case discussions, clerkships, and others. Provided you do it yourself and not by copying your senior's report. Well, let us see what the experts say about our way of learning. Is it good or bad? The learning pyramid, supported by extensive research, shows us that an important learning principle is that people learn best when they are actively involved in the learning process. For example, learners retain approximately only 5% of what they learn when they have learned from lectures. Only 5%? So, do you think that we are learning in a right way if we are just attending the lectures or classroom? You can see here that only 20% that we hear and see, for example, by watching videos, movies, go on a site visit like hospitals, will be retained in our mind. It is very clear that the greatest method of learning retention is at the base of the pyramid, the active learning section. This is achieved through discussion groups, practice by doing activities, sharing ideas, and teaching others. Just a few words about active learning for those who never heard of this terminology before. Active learning occurs when a person takes control of their learning experiences. You are the boss there. You don't have to depend on your lecturer's notes. Since understanding information is the key aspect of learning, it is important for the learners to recognize what they understand and what they do not. So, my recommendation for you guys is very simple. Form a study group. It can be consist of any number of friends, but please make sure each of the group member will have a pivotal role during the discussion. Make sure you teach each other during the discussion, not sleeping and eating pizza like in this picture. You can have a healthy and intellectual arguments, nothing wrong with that, but don't fight. One of the problems we usually have during the study group is we tend to go out of topic and end up talking unrelated matters. This is quite common, especially with intelligent people like you all. You have lots of story to share. To overcome this, you can appoint a leader in your group, of which should be responsible to bring us back to the right path when we are diverted. Now, let us see what are the features or skills that is needed to learn effectively. There are 5 main components that I would like to focus in this video clip. I will go through this one by one. The first and foremost point is motivation. Learning process should be goal-oriented and aided by motivation. Why do we feel sleepy in the lectures but always stay awake through a 3-hour movie? Have you experienced this? I'm sure all of you have experienced this. Why are we so bored when we look at the books like pharmacotherapy or applied therapeutics, but find it easy to read blogs and Facebook messages? Well, I'm sure you know the answer, right? It is simply because we enjoy or like doing these things due to the inner motivation. Most of us do not understand why learning is so important and are unaware of our own learning styles that can help us overcome our barriers for effective learning. So we tend to struggle and give up. So what we should do is to target on our motivation to learn. As a pharmacy student, it is very clear that we are learning ultimately to provide a better patient care. Remember, our action will affect a patient's life. Do not, I repeat, do not learn for final exams only. Actually, we have a bigger responsibility after the exams. So get a clear goal and motivate yourself. Just a quick quote by Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Secondly, we should have the skills of concentration. We are born, we are not able to concentrate very well. A lot of practice is needed to develop this. But many of us do not do this, so we struggle and give up. Why do you think we understand every single thing in our notes when reading it just few days before the exam and not during the lectures, although we are reading the same materials? Why we can complete an assignment in the last day just before the deadline given, although we may given several months to complete the task? Well, the answer is concentration. We tend to concentrate and focus more, not chatting, no cinema, no wasting time. Sometimes we don't even sleep and fully concentrate to complete the task. When one works with concentration, losing all the consciousness of oneself, the work that is done will be infinitely better. So next time when you want to learn something, you must concentrate. Definitely, you will learn faster and better. The third factor is environment. The closeness of the other students is often too distracting, especially in a bigger group like in lecture halls. Many of us get embarrassed when we appear to struggle and finally give up. But in reality, we should not feel ashamed of our limitation. Make sure you have a right place to learn. Have you seen many students go to library just before exams to do revision? Perhaps we should utilize it more often. Sometimes looking others reading also can increase our motivation and hence increase their concentration. The next point is attainable task. When we look at some of the tasks we are given, many of us think it is too difficult or I can't do it and easily give up. Remember, everyone has different level of ability to complete certain tasks. We must acknowledge it and work harder to improve it. Set a target and clear goals in learning. Make sure you have feedback mechanism within yourself. And don't forget, a challenging activity requires skills. So work harder to obtain the skills. The last feature is the feeling of success. Many of us wait for lecturers to check on our progress. So it occurs too infrequently to encourage us and maintain our motivation. And we give up. We know that encouragement is essential for learning and maintain motivation. Criticism that is constructive can help, particularly during the assessment of learning. So providing positive feedback is essential. Always keep yourself surrounded with friends who can genuinely identify your weakness and encourage you to feel success. By the way, we can also do it ourselves. So by feeling success, we will tend to learn more effectively. Remember, quality of learning depends on the quality of experience, and the quality of experience depends on concentration. With additional motivation in feeling success and appropriate environment, I'm sure you can learn effectively. Well guys, let's open our eyes and broaden our horizon from now on. Don't get worried by looking at the dark clouds in the skies. It is the challenges we are facing. Enjoy the scenery. Enjoy learning. That's all from me now. Thank you for listening. Bye.